Hey everyone, in my 9 years of selling real estate, this is one of the trickiest markets that I've ever worked in. I've seen single family homes sell in a day with 6 offers over asking, and I've seen homes that have been sitting on the market for 200 days and sell for 25% under asking. So I think one of the most important things to ask yourself as a seller in this market is, if I'm a buyer and I have 20 options, why am I choosing your home over any of the others? In my experience, the strongest segment of the market right now is the single family homes. Sure, there's a bit more inventory right now, but there's not a lot of good inventory. So if you're priced realistically and you're in a good neighborhood, you should sell in a reasonable amount of time. For example, this listing that I just sold in Agassiz had been on the market for quite a long time, but I advise my clients to be patient and hold on to their price because we were still getting plenty of showings and there were multiple parties that wanted to buy it, but all of them had to sell their home first. I advised them to just be patient, hang on, and eventually we did end up selling for a great price. And in this case, it was product scarcity that set them apart. There was nothing else really like this on the market, and that's why we were getting so many showings and why we did have multiple people who wanted to buy it, even though it took 5 or 6 months to sell. If you're in a more saturated segment of the market, for example, townhouses or apartments, it's much harder to stand out from the crowd than if you're in the single family segment of the market. New kitchen, new paint, new flooring isn't necessarily going to set you apart because there could be 10 other options that have those exact same updates for the same price. How do we stand out? In this instance, one of the only things that can set you apart is price. Sure, you can wait for a better day or a better market for a higher number, but if you need to sell today, you're going to have to price sharply. In summary, just be realistic. It's not a one size fits all. If you have a really rare product or you're in a very niche neighborhood, you can afford to ask a little bit more. But if when you're doing your market evaluation, you look around and you see there's 4 or 5 similar homes in the neighborhood, all in the same price point, and they're not selling, then you need to price competitively. It's very important that each property receives a tailored approach to it, and that's why it's so important to work with a real estate agent who's selling regularly. Many people right now think that the real estate market is dead, and that's just simply not the case. On that listing that I mentioned in Agassiz earlier in the video, we had over 75 showings. That's a lot of buyers. There's buyers out there that are either actively looking or on the sidelines. How do we attract them? We need to offer them something that they can't get anywhere else.